Hi guys, welcome to this video and welcome to my channel. This is my new channel and it is called Shellfire Reviews. Some of you may know me as Beauty Crafter as well on YouTube, but what I decided to do, because I was actually doing beauty videos and I was also doing craft videos, so I decided to actually separate the two, so if people were more interested in the craft side of things, then they could visit the beauty crafter page. I nearly forgot it then. And for the people that are more interested in the beauty side of things, then you can visit this one. So let's get started. I have wanted to do this video for a very long time, but the item that I wanted to actually show in this video I've been unable to get. I just simply have not been able to get it from where I live. This video is going to be a couple of clips because I am actually going to show a foundation and I want to do a couple of clips throughout the day to see how the foundation progresses. So let's get to the foundation. The foundation that I'm going to be reviewing today is this one. It's a new Revolution. I am a bit slow off the mark because of how long it's took me to get it. Yes, I may have been able to get it from like online, but the problem with having a look online, you can't exactly check the shade whether it's right for you. And also online, going on eBay, and well, I'm not so sure about Amazon, but I know eBay, you can get a lot of fakes around, so I just wanted it to be as true as possible. So it just took me a while to get this. I kept checking in my local Superdrug, which is in the next town from me, because I haven't got one in my town. And every time I went in, they had this in, but they didn't have my shade. They only had the dark shades. And I went in today just to look for something different, and I thought I'll nip in Superdrug, and I managed to find it, so I snapped it up. So this is the Revolution. It's Conceal and Defined, and it's a full foundation. I have got the concealer in my box here, which I have used before. I may have shown that in a previous video, I'm not so sure, but it's actually cruelty free and vegan. And it's 23 mils and it's a full coverage foundation, which we'll actually find out in a minute if it is or not and what it's like. I have not opened it yet because I've literally brought it this morning when I was out, and knowing me, I'll probably have trouble opening it now. So yeah, I literally brought it when I went out this morning, and I've just this second got back because it's been quite a busy day today. And I've still got a busy day in a minute, so it's quite fairly decent size foundation. It is a glass bottle, which I'm a little bit dubious about. I don't know how I feel about that, because usually some of them are actually, they are in plastic tubes. God blimey, more wrapping. I will say it is wrapped extremely good. Extremely good. So this is also in the shade F1. I did have a look at the shade F. They didn't have the shade F2, but I checked F3 as well because I'm fairly light skin toned, and the F3 did seem quite dark for me, so I went with the F1. So fingers crossed this will go well. I'm not too sure whether it's going to go blend well with my beauty blender or brush, but I guess we'll find that out in a second. So as you can see, it's in a fairly nice decent size bottle. We'll check what the top is like. Ooh, that's quite thick, isn't it? Ooh, so that is, it's different from other foundations where you squeeze it on your hand. I must admit, it's good for application. It will be good for application. Problem is, it's going to be a bit difficult for when you want to get the very last drops out your bottle. It's going to be hard to be able to get the last bits out. I must admit, it is easier with the softer tube foundations like this one, where you do come to the end and you can literally squeeze it out. This one, you're not going to be able to do that, so I guess we'll try it and see what it's like. So it's not a decent not a decent, what am I on about? It's not a bad shade. You do have to keep dabbing it in the bottle a couple of times. If it weren't for the fear of not being able to actually get your full bottle, your full amount of product out, at the minute I would love this, because I like the application, I like that. It's just the fact that I'm a bit unsure of what it's going to be like getting the last bits out, because like I said, it's not like you can actually squeeze the very last bits out, but I'm sure I'll come to an idea how to do that. So with it being full coverage, we'll find out if it is. I don't do perfect with beauty blenders. Some foundations I do and some I don't, so we're just going to dab it round there. And it is fairly thick, it looks fairly thick, I quite like that. And it's a nice coverage as well, quite a nice coverage. And actually it's not doing too bad with the beauty blender that I'm using, because I find with some foundations that I use, when you actually I'll lick my lips and I'll lick foundation off. With some beauty blenders that you use, when you're applying your foundation, it can seem to go a bit blotchy, if I'm making sense. I do have another foundation, it is actually only a pound shop one, but I found that when I was trying to blend that with the beauty blender, I found that it did go extremely blotchy. Now I must admit, the shading of the foundation is very light. Look at it. I think I could have actually probably have gone with the F3 colour, but it did look fairly dark, and when I tested this out on my hand earlier, it did actually look darker. So, but we are going to see what it's like throughout the day. Now, because this video is a little bit longer, if I can't put the clips together, then these videos will be in separate parts. So this will obviously be part 1 and part 2 will be throughout the day, but I will try and put the clips together if I can. But yes, it's because I'm using my phone at the minute and my phone is not the perfect editing. So yeah, what do I actually think about it? I love the coverage. I do love the coverage. As I said, it could have done with, not too sure about the container with the bottle, because obviously it's going to be hard to try and get the last bits out. The shade, I could have done with going with a shade darker, because this is extremely light, and I think it was a little bit too light for me. But for the coverage of it, I love it. It is really good coverage. As well, with some foundations you can get like a nice dry foundation and you can get a really dewy one. I'm not a big massive fan of dewy foundations. I do prefer the more matte type ones, and this one is very matte. It's not to the point where you literally can just see the powder. If I bring it closer, you can see it is extremely matte, but it's not to the point where it just looks where it makes your skin look really dry. And can you see my ears? I've got bright pink ears and like a paley white face. Yes, I could have done with going with the darker one. So I'm going to end this video for now while I actually put on the rest of my makeup, and I shall see you further on in the day to see how this foundation is holding up. I recommend now, going off by how light this one is, it looks a lot darker than it is actually on your face. So I do recommend when you do go into wherever you're getting it from, providing they do have testers, don't use the proper bottles, try out the testers. It does look it looks a little bit darker on your hand. And just try it on your arm, blend it in, see if the shade does go for you, because I must admit this does look quite light for me. But then again, we all know with some foundations they do tend to oxidise, so we're going to see how this carries on throughout the day, and then I will check back in with you later to see how it is holding up. So thank you for joining me for now, and I shall see you again soon. See you, bye. Hi guys, so I'm just joining you for a quick update on how this foundation is holding up. I'm walking up the stairs while I do this, which I probably should not. I've just got back from fetching my son back from nursery from school, and I just thought I would do a quick update before I take my cat to the vet, which he's not going to be impressed by. So as you can see, it's still very light. It has not oxidised one little bit from what I can tell. It doesn't look as bad as earlier, where I was literally white, pale white. But if I hold it up close, you can see it's not flake, it's not gone dry. I'm not left with any dry patches whatsoever. So it is also 3:45 now, and I applied this foundation at about 1, so it's only been on for roughly 2 hours. But I am going to do a final update later tonight to see if it still is holding up well. Besides that being perfect, my hair is a hot mess because the weather is just terrible over here. And as well, the rest of my makeup is, the liquid eyeliner is by Revolution, and also the eyeshadow and eyebrow colour and the lipstick is Revolution Calmy MUA, the eyeshadow, and the lipstick is by Stove Does Nails. So I'll see you again later for a quick and last update, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. See you later. Bye. Hi guys, so this is going to be the last clip of the video. It is only 7:30, which makes it about 5.5 hours that I've had this foundation on for. I probably could leave it longer, but it's been one busy day, one thing after another. I had the lovely job of taking the cat to the vet, and in between school runs and Christmas shopping and preparing for my husband's 40th on the weekend. So overall, a view where I think of this foundation up to yet. So as you can see, I have not, besides the officers I mentioned in my previous clip about it being in a glass tube, and I'd like it to be in like a squishy one, because I feel like you might not get the complete product from out the packaging. As for the foundation itself, I personally could have probably chose a shade darker, but to be honest, it's not that bad. I really do like it. Yes, it is very, very light, and it's probably a bit too light for me. But overall view of it, I think it is really good. As you can see, I'm going to hold it close now. Please excuse me for the close-ups, but as you can see, none of it has gone powdery, especially around my forehead area, around my face. It has not got powdery or any dry patches or anything. It's still held up. And that, like I said, it is only 5.5 hours later, but 5.5 hours is 5.5 hours, especially if you're going like for a night out, or if you wear it all day. I would say it'd last a hell of a lot longer than that. So I do definitely, besides obviously the packaging, it's pretty, but I do definitely recommend it. And by the way, I forgot to actually mention in my previous clip, this retails for about £8. I got it from £8 from Superdrug, so you probably get it from, it'd probably be around about the same price from anywhere else. Just be careful where you do get it from, obviously, for eBay, for copying right. Can you call it copying right? What I mean is for fake ones, because there is a lot of that going about. So I just want to say thank you for joining me on this video and this review of this foundation. I'm definitely glad I've got it. I may be getting the shade darker of it, but as for the actual foundation itself, I absolutely love it. I really do like it. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. and don't forget to share this video, please. And also, if you're not already a subscriber, please press that subscribe button, obviously, for my new channel. If you are into crafts, then don't forget my other channel to nip over there under the Beauty Crafter, and this one is Shellfire Reviews. So thank you for joining me, and I shall see you next time, and I'm going to try and edit these videos. Bye.